Okay, guys, we're checking out this YouTuber. In case you don't know, he's extremely good.
No,
he's
not.
He's got 103K subscribers.
No, he doesn't.
Why not you?
He's wrong.
Make that number go up. Now, if you guys excuse me, I have to find the one we're reacting to today. So, hold on. Okay, I found it. It's titled Paramedics. What incident will traumatize you for the rest of your life? I watch a lot of this guy.
This will traumatize you for the rest of your life. I'm a paramedic stationed along the southern border near you, close enough to see the desert stretch into the distance toward Mexico. My partner, Martin, and I have dealt with our fair share of bizarre calls, from simple psych cases to full-blown chaos. But the time we responded to a demon's complaint nearly made me quit this line of work forever. We got paged while we were grabbing a burrito at a tiny roadside stand. Medic 9, respond, crackled over the radio. I glanced at the tablet to read the complaint. One word, demons. Martin and I rolled our eyes. Sure, it'd be just another psych situation or something silly. Little did we know we were driving into a nightmare. The house was about 10 miles down a dusty dirt track, practically the only dwelling in the area. Even as we pulled up, a strange vibe settled over us. The place was bathed in a weird orange glow. Through the windows, we could see flickering candles, dozens, maybe hundreds. The front door was open, but a bent screen door rattled in the wind. We called in our location, hopped out, and walked up. A tiny older woman, no taller than my shoulders, stepped out. She clutched a cross to her chest and mumbled in Spanish. Inside, the living room was hot, easily 20 degrees warmer than outside. Candles everywhere, wax dribbling onto tables and floors. Her frantic gestures led us to a young man, maybe in his early 20s, convulsing on the floor. She babbled something about a snake in the corner, hissing, a rattlesnake, coiled and silent. We radioed for the fire department, hoping they'd remove it, and began searching the man for a bite. Then we heard screaming from deeper in the house. Not normal screams. These were raw, desperate. Martin threw me a look I'll never forget. He bolted down the hall while I stayed with the patient. Moments later, Martin came back, eyes wide with fear, yanked my sleeve. "We gotta go," he hissed. "There's a guy in that bedroom. He's eating his own hand." My blood ran cold. We stumbled outside and locked ourselves in the rig. Martin grabbed his phone, calling dispatch on a private line. I remember his exact words. "We're in the middle of some horror movie. We need backup." The old woman appeared at our window, begging us to come back. Thankfully, the fire crew arrived moments later, giving us the courage to re-enter. With the firefighters' help, we bagged the rattlesnake, then turned to the hallway. One of them stepped inside the bedroom, then came out trembling. He was floating, the firefighter muttered. Just floated right off the floor. Martin and I exchanged a look that said, "What the hell is going on?" Police showed up, tackled the self-mutilating guy, who apparently was now yelling about missing fingers, and we whisked the snakebite victim into our ambulance. But as I set up an IV in the back, I noticed he looked fine, like unbelievably fine. No bite marks, no swelling, vitals steady. He just stared at me. The entire ride, he didn't say a word. We dropped him off at the ER, but the doc found no trace of venom, no injuries at all. Meanwhile, the others dealt with the hand-biting guy. We later heard from a cop that both men claimed they'd woken up in that old lady's home with no idea how they got there. She swore they materialized out of thin air. The fire captain was practically having a breakdown, convinced he'd seen a man levitate. In the weeks that followed, more bizarre rumors floated around. Some said it was a possession. Others insisted it was a cartel thing, some elaborate trick, but I don't know. I just know Martin and I saw enough that night to realize something out there isn't normal. I've considered quitting. Maybe I will. Being a paramedic is tough enough without stepping into horror movie territory. All I can say is, if you ever find yourself called out to a random desert shack lit by 100 candles, maybe think twice, or just be ready for anything, because sometimes reality is a lot stranger than we want. Paramedics, what incident will trauma...
Okay, let's find another video.
The furry. I just found out why my pet cat has been in pain. I first met my roommate Eric during freshman year, and we instantly became best friends. We played video games, went to parties, and did everything together. But that all changed when he discovered the furry club on campus. At first, I didn't think much of it. I had heard about furries before, a niche group of people who enjoyed anthropomorphic animal art. Eric had always been a casual internet user, mostly for school and gaming. But the second he Googled furry, something changed. It was like flipping a switch. He became obsessed. He stopped partying, spent every spare moment on forums, and started drawing in a sketchbook. When we returned from winter break, he showed me what he had been working on, his fursona. The art was unsettling. His fursona had unnatural proportions, disturbing facial features, and something about the eyes felt wrong. Still, I shrugged it off until he asked me a question that made my skin skin crawl. So, do you think he's attractive? I shut that down immediately, disgusted. He laughed it off, said it was a joke, but I knew it wasn't. His grades started slipping. He barely left his room, staying locked inside for hours, sometimes days. He only came out to eat and use the bathroom. I tried to talk to him, but he brushed me off. It's all part of the plan, he'd say with a weird grin. I didn't know what that meant at the time. I wish I had. Then the cats started disappearing. Our campus had a ton of strays, plus students who kept small pets. Soon, the library bulletin board was filled with missing posters. There were rumors of a catnapper. Some students even claimed to see a guy luring strays away with catnip. I was worried about my own cat, but she hadn't disappeared. She had changed. She barely moved, wouldn't eat, and seemed to be in constant pain. Around the same time, I saw Eric less and less, and when I did see him, he was always with someone, an older man, balding, with glasses. After asking around, I found out he was a retired surgeon from the nearby medical school. Then I got the text. Eric wants you to come to the basement of the science building. The door is unlocked. I hesitated. Something felt off, but I needed answers. I needed to know what was going on with Eric, who that surgeon was, and most of all, why my cat was suffering. The basement door was, just as the text said, unlocked. It was supposed to be used for old storage, but when I stepped inside, I saw something else. A makeshift surgical theater. Curtains surrounded the table. The silhouette of someone, something, lay on it. A figure stepped forward and pulled back the curtain. It was the surgeon. His operating gown was stained with blood, rubber gloves still slick with it. His expression was heavy, filled with regret. "Where's Eric?" My voice cracked. "What did you do to him?" The man sighed, removing his glasses. "I'm sorry. Your friend is alive, but I had no choice. It was this or losing my job." He gestured toward the table. I stepped closer, heart hammering in my chest. Then I pulled the curtain back completely. It took a few moments for my brain to understand what I was looking at, but when I did, my stomach turned. A human body covered in fur, different patches, stitched together like a Frankenstein nightmare. My gaze moved to the face, a feline nose, misshapen ears, whiskers. Eric? His eyes shot open. They weren't human anymore. They were slitted, green, cat-like. His pupils shrank as they locked onto me. He grinned, revealing razor-sharp teeth, elongated canines. My breath hitched. My mind refused to believe what I was seeing. "Why?" I managed to choke out. Eric chuckled, giving a small shrug. "Like you said, man, fursuits are expensive, so I made my..."